I'm Gehl, turn 48 tomorrow. I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, found it 2 years ago. Or I should say 3 years ago. I'm 2 years cancer-free. I have 1 more year to go before they consider, and I don't like the term cured, I like the term cancer-free. I've seen too many people here and relatives that comes back 5, 10, 15 years down the road, so I like the term cancer-free. Cured, seen too many people have it come back. I'm divorced now. Prior to my non-Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosis, I had my colon removed because I developed familial polyposis, which turns into colon cancer, and that is from what my oncologist says, is a aggressive cancer. So the treatment for that is to remove the colon. Then they found tumors in my abdomen, which I'll always have, and I do chemo every couple years, every 3 years or so, just to shrink them, and they can't remove them because they share too many blood vessels with the organs. So that's and then after that, when I found that, then a year or so later, I had the non-Hodgkin's. So I've been coming to Gilda's for 7 years with my daughter, and it's hard, not in a physical way. For me, it was hard, but not until my last half of my treatment. I had 6 treatments and then radiation. The physical part wasn't until about halfway through, and that was pretty bad. Not as bad as some people have, but for me, I had blisters on my feet. I still worked as much as I could, so I was still working basically full time. But towards the end, it was pretty bad, with really hard time walking, and just my feet were just a mess. When I did my radiation for 30 days, it was every day. I didn't work during that. But the worst part was the relationship with my wife during that time, because your whole life revolves around appointments, doctor's appointments, chemo. I was doing mine every 3 weeks. But then you have CT scans, PET scans. Your whole life revolves around your treatment. You can't plan anything like a vacation or something, because you just can't go anywhere, because you have, and usually for me, I had my treatment. I would get the next day what's called a Neulasta shot to help force your bones to create white blood cells. And that's like having the flu, all the joint aches and bone aches, but 1,000 times worse, because it's forcing your bones to make those white blood cells. So then I'd be sick for that weekend, on top of just having the chemo, and for about a week after the chemo, I'd be just tired. I didn't have the nausea like a lot of people do, but I have sores in my mouth. And I'd have to take what they call magic mouthwash, which is numbs your mouth so you can eat, lasts long enough to eat. But it took a toll on the marriage. It wasn't the only thing, it was a contributing factor, but everything gets put on hold with your life. Whether you like to go bike riding with your kids, at some point I ended up not having to do that. My daughter would get upset because she liked to go out with Dad to bike ride. So your life, for that time, just is centered around your treatment, and people can get irritated, they can get resentful because your life stops while you're doing it. For me, it made a situation that wasn't great worse. They say, cancer can either bring people together or pull them apart, and in my case, it helped to divide my relationship with my spouse at the time. My daughter, she kind of accepted it, and we did other things. I mean, she was young. She's 15 now. My very first time doing chemo, she was 7, so she was used to it, so to speak. So it didn't hit her as hard, but for the adults, it changed the relationship during that time. I would say I have a really good coworker that I've been able to vent to about it. Then after that, Gilda's Club, being able to just come in here, and everyone in the group has been there, done that. So they get it, they understand what you're going through during that time, even with relationships. It's there's kind of a common theme. 50% of the people, it makes the relationship stronger. 50% kind of puts a wedge between their relationships. But there's always 2 or 3 people that have similar stories to tell, and they're a great group, great bunch. And the sad thing is in my group, in the patient group, you get attached to these people, months, years, and then all of a sudden they pass away due to a complication, and sometimes it can be too much, or you just can't. It's like you get attached to these people that come to Gilda's, and I like coming and I like helping other people, because right now I'm like I said, cancer free, but I get attached to a lot of these people, get to know them really well, and some of them have stage 4 already. Since I've been coming here, I've had 8 people pass away that we went to funerals for, and a lot of them were really close, and sometimes that takes a toll on you, because just an emotional toll. But a lot of my support is here at Gilda's. Right now, I'm thinking retirement. I'm thinking my daughter graduating high school, going to college. I am going to get married again from a lady that I met here at Gilda's in 2016. Now, if you were to ask me, or someone in the middle of their treatment, you don't look beyond the next week. But now that for right now, I'm after that, I can look at, next month, next year, gonna be 48, retirement. So it's kind of like night and day. So I can just look further out into the future and know that for me, I'm gonna be there.